Last week I did a video that kind of dealt with how my automobile has extended its life expectancy as a result of technology, and how I felt that that similar technology could extend other people's, our life expectancy, human beings. And I went into some great detail how every morning in your bathroom you could send out information through 5G to the cloud, and artificial intelligence could analyze it, and you could then monitor your health and your life accordingly. I then discovered this weekend that there are some countries that are already doing this. And they're doing it because they've recognized that if they want to get their economies back to where they were, they're going to have to make sure that people are healthy and that we aren't continuing to spread a virus, whether it be the coronavirus or some other virus or some other illness, and then again fall right back to where we were. So this technology is there, and right now it's happening in South Korea. Let me share this with you.
In South Korea, the government is using cell phones and credit card purchases to track its citizens, then notify them if they've been in contact with someone who is infected.
So South Korea is basically a step ahead of us. And even ahead of them is China. And I want to emphasize, I heard this last week, that China has reported that they have no new cases of the coronavirus and thus no new deaths. Here's what they're doing.
In China, contact tracing apps on cell phones are mandatory.
I'm Janice Mackey-Freyer in Beijing, where this is your passport for everything. It's a health code generated by your phone that proves you're virus-free, and you need it to book a train ticket, get into a grocery store, even to go to a coffee shop.
Now, I know what you're saying. You can't believe anything that comes out of China. But at the end of that was a reporter from NBC, I believe it was, who's been living in China, in Beijing, for the last several months. So I believe what she's saying, that this is what's happening in China, and this is how they're doing it. Well, who's doing this? Is it the China government? No. It's more than likely, if you've watched my videos in the past, you've heard me talk about the Big Nine. The 9 companies in the world who are on top of technology, who are on top of artificial intelligence, of big data, of quantum computing, the whole 9 yards. In China, it's going to be Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu. They are probably leading this charge to tracking people and then gathering data on them and gathering health data. Again, go back to the video I did last week. Here's a link to it, and there'll be a link at the end of this video, so that you have an understanding how this technology already exists, and how all we have to do is find within our government and within our lives how we can accept this. And I mean that literally, because it will be a new level of delving into your privacy. And I guess the decision we have to make is the violation of my privacy more important than the continuation of my life and the functioning of our economy? That's a key decision we're going to have to make. And I want to share with you that there are some companies that are in the lead to make this happen. We know of 2 of them. That it was announced that Google and Apple were coming together to create an app that would be on our phone that would help track people with the virus and then tell us if we come or have come in contact with them within the 14-day period. Here's some information on that.
Very soon, iPhones and Android phones will continuously broadcast a Bluetooth beacon, basically a big number that changes every few minutes, to any phones within about 15 feet. Meanwhile, of course, your phone is picking up the beacons from all other phones nearby. It remembers these interactions for 14 days. Now, here's the cool part. Suppose that a few days later, this guy tests positive for COVID-19. If he's willing, he can report his diagnosis in an app from a public health agency. At that point, everybody he's exposed in the last 2 weeks gets notified on their phones and advised to seek testing or quarantine.
And every time there is an action, there is an equal or greater reaction. I think it's fair to say that in my lifetime, there have been a number of actions that created similar reactions or greater reactions that if I were an investor and an astute investor at that time, that I could have benefited from them. First of all, very close to my life was the Vietnam War. As a result of the Vietnam War, the world changed. Our attitudes about a lot of things changed. Our attitudes just about war changed. In Vietnam, 55,000 Americans died. If you then look at wars since then, it's unusual that 1,000 American soldiers die in a year. And we've been at war at one level or another almost constantly since. So the change has been in how we fight wars. Probably the biggest change that I remember immediately was 9/11. How I moved through an airport changed dramatically. How the airlines industry functioned changed dramatically. Just the total security issues in many of our countries. The word terrorism has been a huge change, and how industries reacted and changed to that has been very significant. Probably the biggest change is the cell phone and or internet, then the cell phone, and then the 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now the 5G. It's my belief that as a result of the coronavirus and what was top of mind before the coronavirus, that being 5G and the Internet of Everything, these two things will join together to make the biggest change in my lifetime in how we live. And again, it is my belief that the 6 companies within the Big 9, and there's a link to this book, it's by Amy Webb. You need to read this so that you understand and have the evolution of artificial intelligence, machine learning, general artificial intelligence, and what is coming in the future and who's going to drive it. And again, in the United States, it's IBM, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Google. These are the people who have the data. These are the people who have the talent, the artificial intelligence, the machine learning. These are the people who have the computing capabilities to take that data, sort it, and then send it back to us through our smartphone to make our lives safe from this point on. Because truly, that's where we're at. I think it would be naive to believe that we're going to find a cure or a vaccine for the coronavirus within the next 12 months. So something has to happen to relieve that tension so that we can move forward with this. Beyond that, I think it would also be naive to believe that living in a global economy, that there won't be another virus of some sort that will threaten us, and we will have to have the ability to identify it and then track it and close it down before it spreads as it does. again, I think if you look back and look at what has happened, I just watched a program on Sunday morning, CBS Sunday morning, where they said that we knew about this on January the 7th, and we really didn't do anything about it until the end of February. And then we didn't really marshal our skills making it public until the middle of March. That can't happen again. And we have to allocate the funds. President Trump has made a statement earlier on that we're going to build out the infrastructure. I think you need to know that not only means bridges and highways, it means 5K. It means internet to everyone, so that everyone can carry a phone similar to what they're doing in China, and it gains you access to an airplane, to a train, to a sporting event, to a restaurant. We aren't going to be able to do or live without that kind of technology. And you as an investor need to recognize who's going to lead the way, and you need to own a part of those companies. And I know they're expensive. They're expensive stocks. But look at their charts. Look at what they did as a result of 4G, of a result of you being able to have video, of a result of you being able to stream movies, as a result of you being able to buy online and have it delivered to your front door. Now we're talking about life and death. And for every action, there's a reaction. And this reaction is going to be monumental. And for those who recognize it and invest and help, and investing in these companies is going to make you a part of finding the solution. So that's my take on this. Will there be other companies that will find a way to help in this? Yeah, and I'm going to be on the lookout for them, because this is an investment opportunity of a lifetime, and it's something that has to happen.